Hey guys, like, comment, subscribe. We're back with an NBA video today. News going around. Andre Drummond is not only available, but the Toronto Raptors are reportedly interested. I mean, on the surface, when you look at it, it's like, of course they're interested. Andre Drummond is a great player. They're not that deep up front. They get to add him for, from what it seems like, it's not going to be a lot that Cleveland wants. So, like, on the surface, again, it seems to make sense. But when you like factor in his salary, everything along those, I think it's a bit different. We have differing opinions on that. I'll let you go. I know you think that they should make the move, and I feel like a lot of people agree with that. So you could definitely speak to why you think Andre Drummond would be a good fit for the Toronto Raptors.
I think he'd be a great fit because he swallows 18 rebounds per game, 15 rebounds per game. He's actually putting up career numbers right now when it comes to rebounding. He scores around the paint for some weird reason I don't understand. He shoots under 50%, even though he only shoots from under 6 feet, and most of them on offensive rebounds. But with that being said, the Raptors would be the best team he's played around his whole career. Back when he was in Detroit, he was supposed to be the second best player. They didn't really have much shooting. They had Blake Griffin. Cleveland, they're okay at shooting, but that's not really their specialty. When it comes to Drummond, you really need to have it spaced out around him. With that being said, though, unless it waits for the buyout market, a trade is very difficult. A trade would have to include the salaries to make it work, would have to include likely Norman Powell, Aron Baynes, McCaw, plus someone. Unless you're finding a trade with Lowry, which I would really, Lowry has way too much value to be put into a straight up trade with Drummond, of course. But when you look at it, maybe Powell does too. Powell averages just as many points as Drummond does. Very good player, sound defensively. Like, there's a reason why Drummond doesn't have a much of a market. He got traded for a second round pick last year. So it's hard to make this trade. But I think if they're the third team that gets involved and they're able to actually, the Raptors can actually get Andre Drummond, and sure, they're going to lose a couple pieces. But if they can get Andre Drummond and draft capital at the same time, because the third team gets Norman Powell's contract, more of a team that's going for a playoff championship this year, then that's a possibility. Straight up, I just don't see it as a possibility because I don't see why Cleveland would want Norman Powell's contract, considering it's a player option next year. They're not looking to compete this year if they're trading away Drummond. But with that being said, if there's a way of making it work, I think they should go for it. Getting Drummond early in the season, being able to incorporate him into your lineup before playoff time could pay dividends.
Yeah, see, that's kind of where I disagree in terms of the trade, because when you're talking about trading four guys on the Toronto Raptors who are key for being a utility team who makes use of 12 guys through the core, at very least, they're making use of 10 guys. And you're trading away four guys who are very intuitive with that system. They already know how to run it. Nick Nurse obviously has these guys there because he knows what they bring specifically for them. So for them to give up not only Norm Powell, but then a decent like McCaw, whatever, he doesn't play that much. But then you're also giving up
He
Baines.
hasn't played all year.
Yeah, then you're also giving up Baines. And you have the issue that you have now where you only have really one true usable center. And then you run into an issue, obviously, when you're giving up these other pieces in the same thing, whether it's Matt Thomas, you're giving away a bit there. Whether it's Stanley Johnson, you're giving away actually someone pretty valuable right now there. And if the goal is to give away Powell in that as well and replace him with Terrence Davis, I don't think you're going to get the production from Terrence Davis that you are from Norman Powell right now. Norman Powell has been very good since the first
I love Norman Powell
of the year. And again, like, the thing with it is, again, if it's a buyout and the Toronto Raptors could add him, absolutely. They have no reason not to. They'd get him on extreme value. He would add a lot to the team that they need. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. I mean, they're tied for 28th overall. But at the same time, like, again, he doesn't space the floor. That's not what Nick Nurse needs. It's not what he's used to. I don't know how like great Drummond would be there. And I think swapping Powell for him doesn't add many wins. I think at most with Drummond and you get rid of Powell, they're a second round playoff team at dead most. And I would even be surprised if they make that. If they keep Powell and Drummond, they're competing in the final four of the East. I would be confident to say that. So that's where I don't think a trade is the best option for Andre Drummond, because it's not going to improve them that much this year with who they have to give up. And Drummond's a free agent at the end of the year anyway, and I would doubt he resigns in Toronto. I really would.
The tough part for me when it comes to waiting for a buyout is that there's no expressed interest for Drummond coming to the Raptors.
Oh, absolutely.
There's other teams that could use a center just as much as the Raptors, and whenever he gets bought out, he's going for minimum contract.
You will probably go to Brooklyn at that point, realistically.
And that's exactly it. There's Brooklyn. We don't know if Miami might be turning it around. He'd be a great fit in Miami as well. There's a few teams out there that he would shine for, but they can't do it because of money. They just can't make it work. I would hate to go Norman Powell in this. But with that being said, after this season, there's a very high chance we're not keeping Norman Powell. It just, money-wise, it might not work out in our favor. I really hope we do, and I think we can actually make it work. I think that the future of Van Fleet, OG, Siakam, and Powell as a core hasn't been able to show the potential yet, because they just haven't been all healthy for a long enough period of time and been the star players. But with the steps that those other guys have been taken, I think Powell fit right in as a fourth guy. I don't know. They can use a center right now.
Yeah, I just can't get my head around how they're going to replace four guys. That's what I can't get my head around.
You're thinking it that way, but you're replacing two guys. You're taking two guys that don't play whatsoever. Whether you're including Flynn, Thomas, Bembry, probably not Flynn unless you're getting quite a good bit of draft capital back. But you have at least four guys at the bottom of the roster, the Raptors lineup, that don't play. You said they play 10 guys. I'm including number 13, number 14 in their lineup. They don't play these guys. Aron Baynes gets played 15 minutes per game, 15 to 20 minutes per game. He would be essentially replaced by 30 to 35 minutes of Drummond. Where would Boucher go? Yeah, great question. He would line up a power forward because he's actually a very good three-point shooter along Drummond, and that would take those spot minutes at the center. Siakam would take those spot minutes at the center. OG has taken spot minutes at the center. I'm not worried about filling that role, especially if Drummond's there. The only person you're losing is Powell.
So you could honestly say that team with Andre Drummond and no true sixth man is going to make it farther than the second round.
They have a chance. They have a bigger chance than what they have right now. Yeah.
I would disagree completely.
Hey, everyone has their own opinions. But the Raptors have enough depth, and I think that they'd be able to bring someone in as well from this. I'm not sure exactly who it would be. They would be able to bring someone in who gets 10, 15 points per game, or at least 10 points per game. And their sixth man is Chris Boucher. That's what their people have been going for this year. Powell has been starting. Powell only has been starting because of injuries, and whenever he's come off the bench, his numbers have only been about 10 points per game this year. His starting numbers have been over 20. I think he's a great player, but I think that they would be deeper because you would be able to play Boucher in those minutes and have him come in as more of an impact force. But you'd also be able to get the rebounding. They are the worst team, one of the worst teams in the league in rebounding, tied for 29th in the league or 28th in the league, whatever you want to say, make it sound better. It's horrible. And Drummond comes in and fixes that. And I would hope that they would be able to, at that point, re-sign Drummond and keep Lowry, because they would be able to go over contract because they already have both in their lineup. Because if not, then the Raptors, if they want to keep Lowry this offseason, they can't bring in anyone else in. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be very wishful thinking that Andre Drummond would re-sign if they even do make a move for him. But let us know what you guys do think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you soon with some more content.